This is the Sunday stream opening song because the other song is copyrighted. La 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 la. Oh look, here comes Dog Cat Fox.
Hi, Sky.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday stream. The stream I do on Sundays because Sunday is the day to stream on Sundays. Hope you're all doing well this beautiful Sunday morning. It's a little gray and overcast out where I'm at right now, but, you know, a Sunday morning is a Sunday morning, whether it's sunny or not. So just as a little preamble, I hadn't planned on making 2 Sunday streams in a row about technology and the future and such. Last week was Moonbase, and now this week, Metaverse, because I thought to myself, what's going on with the metaverse? I'm not hearing as much about the metaverse as I used to hear. I wonder why that is. I wonder what's going on with this thing that was supposed to be the revolutionary, etc., until AI came along and knocked everybody down. Well, that's what I wanted to find out today. So I picked out 4 articles talking about various metaverse deals. And in the course of my research, if you want to call it that, I found out there's apparently a dog cat fox metaverse. Or something. I don't know. We'll find out momentarily together. But who's joining me on this beautiful Sunday morning? Mike R., good morning. Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost, Rotten Corpse, Miranda Stone, Noah Asensio, Keeverdam, welcome back. Tia Theorix. Let's see, who else is here? Ryan R., Chicago Mike, Shadowclaw, Jamie Melquist, Mike Savage, Blarg, Derek LaRue, again, as always, thank you so much for your continued support and generosity. I hope I earn your patronage, as it were. Thank you so much. K Scholl, good morning. Seftus Wolf, let's see who else. Johnny Blaze, Brittany Holland, Simon Willikins, and I think that's everybody I see. If you're lurking, if I missed you, if you're in the future, good morning. So yes, I found more than one article referring to a Shiba Inu metaverse or something. I don't know. I just kept seeing dog cat fox related to metaverse. So let's start off with this one from bitcoinist.com. I'm sure that's not some kind of fly-by-night deal. Hollywood's attention turns to Shiba Metaverse. Shiba Inu advisor reveals. Now, I'm half hoping this is some kind of joke article, but again, I saw things related to this posted elsewhere, so I don't know. Former technical executive Marcy Jastrow recently implied that Hollywood is showing interest in the Shiba Metaverse. Jastrow wrote, quote, Shib, the metaverse, is the talk of Hollywood, and Shibarium can run it all. We got this Shibarmy. What the? On her Twitter page, after the National Association of Broadcasters show, Hollywood's increasing attention on the Shib metaverse. What is the Shib metaverse? Will possibly spark more interest in Shib, leading to more demand and price. So Shib is, I'm assuming, a Bitcoin of some kind. All right, it's some kind of cryptocurrency. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Marcy Jastrow recently shared a tweet pointing to Hollywood's growing interest in the virtual world. Okay, given her background as a senior vice president at a large international company, Technicolor, recognized for her work on popular games like Call of Duty, Resident Evil, and FIFA, Jastrow's involvement in the project strengthens its connections to the entertainment sector. Yes, but what is it? Jastrow's hints have also sparked speculations concerning the participation of A-list celebrities in the Shib metaverse. Hollywood celebrities are renowned for having an impact on the space. Yeah, I remember when Matt Damon was pushing Crypto.com. I remember when Tom Brady was pushing FTX. Yeah, they have an impact, all right. Have an impact on the space, and their involvement in the Shiba Inu metaverse could increase its popularity and visibility. All right. Every year, the National Association of Broadcasters, or NAB, show brings media, tech, and entertainment experts to discuss the most recent technological trends and advancements. Notably, Jastrow revealed the latest development after this year's show. What is it? You're just repeating yourselves. Hollywood has constantly followed the latest developments as the global center of entertainment. Well, yeah. The recent tweet implies that SHIB Metaverse has captivated its attention. What is it? It's like that song. What is it? Hollywood insiders' growing interest in SHIB Metaverse demonstrates how the entertainment sector has begun to see the promise of augmented reality and blockchain technology. How? Why? The Shiba Inu team bagged a significant invitation earlier this year based on their innovation and planning abilities. The invitation was for them to present their revolutionary virtual reality platform, the SHIB Metaverse project, at the prestigious 2023 South by Southwest Festival, which took place in the city of Austin, Texas. Okay, the enthusiasm and rumors surrounding Hollywood's rising interest in the SHIB just what? Okay, obviously, I'm assuming now that this article is referring to things that insiders have some familiarity with that obviously I don't. I really hope that they explain to us in the next paragraph or 7 what this is. We're further inflamed by the invitation to present the virtual... Yeah. There are very few details available about the planned Shiba Inu virtual... Hollywood's going crazy over this thing that has absolutely no description. What? Well, that sounds about right. It sounds about right. Let's get pumped up over a 30-second elevator pitch with no evidence that the thing actually exists. But okay. There are very few details available about the planned Shiba Inu virtual environment. However, the team has concentrated on the metaverse to increase its relevance and appeal to a wider audience. There is no metaverse. What are you talking about? The metaverse? Even the name of the future virtual world platform is still a mystery as of right now. But recent developments imply that this information will be made public shortly. In a recent blog post, the team claimed to have made noteworthy advancements in crucial project-related areas. The team expressed hope that users will have access to some of the hubs within the metaverse by the end of this year based on the progress made thus far, progress that they won't detail yet and have kept very obscure, okay? Users with access to the metaverse will be able to construct various projects or even pick to play in specific areas of the hub. What? Okay, I had thought there'd be something more to this. So we have a metaverse based around SHIB, which I'm assuming, again, is some kind of cryptocurrency that I've never heard of before. But there's no details. There's very scant evidence that they've actually created anything. But Hollywood's going nuts because the lady in charge of it works with Technicolor. And, you know, Technicolor is movies and stuff. What? I'm just... Anyway, thank you, Keeverdam, for the hee-hee-hee-ha-ha-ha Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox.
Wowie, wow, wow.
There's a Keeverdam Dogcat Fox for a Keeverdam super sticker. Thank you, Keeverdam. Appreciate it very much. Okay, well, that's article number 1. I thought there was something more to it. I might have to look deeper into Shiba Inu, whatever. It sounds like a bill of goods. Sounds like nonsense. Sounds like vaporware. I could be wrong. Maybe it will be the Shiba Inu metaverse that takes over the world, rather than the real metaverse. And what is the real metaverse? Well, let me tell you, because the real metaverse, the one that's had tens of billions of dollars dumped into it, yeah, apparently it's going by the wayside. I think we kind of could have guessed that. But let's go over the details, shall we? Oh boy, Mark Zuckerberg's Metaverse is shattering into a million pieces. Well, I'll give credit for bluntness. Having stuck with a fateful mission, the rest of the Facebook empire is now paying a heavy price. Let's see, this is from The Telegraph on April 21st of this year. So just 2 days ago. I was about to say yesterday and start singing the Beatles song, but oh well. At a time when a bloodbath in the technology industry is claiming thousands of jobs a week, the news that 100 people at Instagram's London base are either being laid off or relocated barely warrants a mention on the face of it. According to Layoffs.fyi, I suppose there would be a website that tracks that. A website that tracks such announcements. Nearly 250,000 people across the big Silicon Valley employers have been given the chop in the last 12 months alone. Against those sort of numbers, Instagram's axe wielding looks like a rounding error. Nothing to see here, then. Far from it. The fallout from this apparently minor corporate reshuffle could be massive for Meta, because it exposes the extent to which Mark Zuckerberg's one-man journey into the metaverse has been a complete disaster. Having stuck with his fateful mission, the rest of the Facebook empire is now paying a heavy price under the cover of Meta's innocuous-sounding year of efficiency. That sounds fairly Orwellian, doesn't it? True, the job cuts at Instagram are part of a much bigger cull of 10,000 positions that were announced at parent company Meta in March, and those came hot on the heels of another 11,000 redundancies that had been unveiled in November. A third round of cuts is expected in May. Oh boy, and like his fellow tech tycoon, Zuckerberg has been at pains to point to the industry's tendency to wildly over-recruit during the boom times. Every major tech figure made the same grave error during the pandemic, believing that the burst of online activity and commerce represented a permanent shift in behavior. Yes, if everybody's locked down, if everybody can't go outside, if everybody has to exist completely and entirely online, obviously this will be the permanent new way of thinking about everything. So let's just dump a bunch of money into that theory. And lo and behold, when the doors unlocked again, people were like, I'm out of here. And it all went back mostly to where it was before. And who's left holding the bag? People with very short-sighted visions is what it was. I mean, I wear glasses. I got bad vision, but I don't think my vision was that short-sighted. Somehow, it seems, none of the planet-sized brains of Silicon Valley thought to consider that the trend might at least partly be the result of the world's population being locked up against its will. It's true. But nowhere is the delusion of Meta's But nowhere is the delusion of Meta's founder, who hopes that someone, or anyone at this stage really, given how badly things have gone, will join him in his creepy imaginary world, more obvious than the decision to beat a sharp retreat from London. Instagram is one of the most valuable parts of the sprawling Meta kingdom. It regularly tops the charts of the most popular social media platforms in the world, alongside sister app Facebook, and it's fast becoming the #1 place for many of the world's biggest advertisers to peddle their clients' wares. Its base in the capital, i.e. London, was, until recently, at the very heart of the firm's growth plans. Opened a decade ago, it was the first foreign outpost that Instagram had established, while London was Meta's largest international engineering base outside of the US, with about 4,000 staff. Instagram boss Adam Mosseri had even moved there from the US. Just 8 months later, he is now heading back there with the large majority of its London-based staff, a move that would appear to signal the end of the photo-sharing app's overseas ambitions, at least for the foreseeable future, while Meta scrambles to get its house in order. Oh boy, yeah. Pardon me while I wet my palate so I don't lose my voice here. Yet the tech giant's turnaround centers as much, if not more, on its wayward founder giving up on his dreams of creating an alternative universe rather than any hurried corporate restructuring exercise. But one of the problems with Meta is that its shareholder structure affords its founder too much power, allowing him to pursue flawed ventures longer than would probably be allowed under a more conventional corporate setup. Yeah, Meta right now, for all intents and purposes, is literally, under a corporate banner, a dictatorship. Mark Zuckerberg basically has total control. There's very few checks and balances to him and doing whatever he wants, which is a really interesting thing to watch from the outside, and will probably end up being a lesson in corporate insanity for the future. I mean, people will be analyzing the rise and the ultimate fall of Meta, because I think eventually Meta is going to have to, well, fall apart. You know, if it continues on this course, if Mark Zuckerberg has no holders on his decision making and spending, something's going to give. Something's going to give. Still, there are signs that Zuckerberg's interest in the metaverse is waning, or that he at least recognizes what a costly misadventure it has been. Then again, the decline would be impossible to miss even for a single-minded visionary who has shown a reluctance to face up to criticism. To the growing frustration of investors, Meta has plowed billions of dollars into an endeavor that fittingly has turned out to be something of a financial black hole. Reality Labs, the division that houses Zuckerberg's speculative metaverse bets, has chalked up cumulative losses of nearly $24 billion over 2 years, which includes $13.7 billion just in the last year. Let's think about that for a second. $24 billion in 2 years. Just a giant pile of money burned. That's just incredible. That's incredible. If you remember that TV show. And if you do, you're as old as I am, at least. Facebook fanatics think it may be dead already. I'm not a Facebook fanatic, and I thought it was dead before it started because I still couldn't imagine what the possible utility could be to what they were proposing. I just didn't get it. Are people going to be standing in a room with goggles on, all alone, forever, working around in a virtual world and shopping and everything? How many people could actually tolerate that for more than, say, maybe an hour or two? Virtual reality is a novelty. It's for gaming. I don't see a long-term use for it as a way of life. I just don't. I could be wrong, you know. I mean, if it were something like what you see in Neuromancer or Johnny Mnemonic or something, where you're physically plugging your nervous system into the thing and sending your consciousness into the I mean, maybe, if that's ever going to be possible, which it probably won't. But I don't think Ready Player One is on the horizon, and I don't see a metaverse being a reasonable goal. I think Facebook is proving that right now. Sorry, Meta is proving that. But who knows what the future will bring? Well, not the metaverse under Meta, apparently. Facebook fanatics think it may be dead already. They point out that the metaverse has gone from being something that Zuckerberg couldn't stop talking about to barely getting a mention these days. This time last year, it was the future, not just of the whole company, but technology too, he insisted. He even changed the name of his empire to reflect his prophecy. Oh, well, this prophecy, but his prophecy is also appropriate. But in March, when Zuckerberg laid out plans to slash another 10,000 jobs, the metaverse got just 2 mentions in a communique that stretched to more than 2,000 words. His grand plan contains several basic yet major flaws. Firstly, while Zuckerberg might want to disappear into a fairy tale world where there's no real human interaction, there is more than a touch of Howard Hughes about him. Few people seem to really understand what it is or what the point of it all is, or perhaps they do, but they're not inclined to join him. Zuckerberg seems to have overlooked the fact that although the world faces some undoubted challenges at present, most of us like real life and all it has to offer, especially after the purgatory of lockdown. And no matter how bad things get, surely no one would be driven to don a pair of giant glasses and a silly headset so that they can follow the avatar of an eccentric billionaire into his strange fantasy land. Maybe it's even more straightforward than that. Perhaps the vast majority of people have simply concluded that the metaverse sounds rather boring and soulless, not unlike Zuckerberg himself. It's true. It's true. Now, I don't have it here, and it would be repetitive of me to read it, but there was an article written by a guy who spent something like a month or two in Zuckerberg's Metaverse. And it was this amazingly sad story of the people he encountered and the events that took place as he explored the metaverse as it exists. Now, I'm sorry to say I don't have the article in front of me. I wish I'd looked it up and had a link ready. But if you look up Kira on YouTube, I think it's on his secondary channel. So there's Kira, and then there's Kira on TV, and then there's Kira. Either way, a couple weeks ago, he read off the entirety of the article on the metaverse. So if you look up Kira and metaverse and look for a posting recent with an article on there, he goes through it, and just Kira's reading of it. It's about, I don't know, it's about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's a long sit, but it's a very fascinating article about what it was like for just some average guy to spend all of his time for about a month or two in the metaverse. And I'd recommend looking that up and either reading it yourself or listening to Kira read it, because it's a very sad situation. And while it's just one example and effectively one giant anecdote, it does speak to something that I don't think is uncommon for people that spend too much time in a virtual world, or that their entire social circle is built up in a limited interaction, digital world. But that's all beside the point. So there's the second story on our metaverse. The metaverse is breaking down. $24 billion. Just holy cats. Let's look at what you guys have to say for a second. Johnny Blaze, to be honest, it probably would solve a lot of stupid people like the leftist who wants to be under lockdown and leave the rest of us alone. I mean, I can't judge the quality of somebody's life necessarily based on what they choose to do with themselves, right? I mean, there are outcomes you can see where somebody's doing something unhealthy or whatever. But I mean, I'm trying to imagine, like, just last night, I was on a conversation over my computer with somebody, and there was a lot to talk about, but I was sitting there still with my headphones on for 2 hours straight, listening back and forth with my friend. And after 2 hours, I was like, I gotta stop. I felt really bad because I was basically cutting her off almost in the middle of the sentence. I was like, I need to get up and move. I can't sit here. I'm feeling claustrophobic. I don't usually sit here for 2 hours flat without any kind of other movement or other activity. So I really need to move. And so just the concept of, like the article said, putting a giant pair of goggles on my head, headphones, and holding little sticks, and just standing and wandering around in my room alone. Something about that makes it feel even more, I couldn't stand it. I probably couldn't stand it any longer than I could for, like, playing a session of a video game or something. So how's that going to become part of my life? It would make me want to run away more than go to it. But that's just me, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Anybody else? Let's see. Lexi Mads is here. Mark Zuckerberg does not know Dewey. His mistake was not making everything in the metaverse about Ugandan knuckles. Yes, I'm very attached to that meme. In my world, it never died. Mark Zuckerberg, I mean, it is an interesting sort of psychological study to see someone who, even before he was a super duper CEO or anything, obviously had a lot of social issues and interacting with other human beings issues, and still does if you just observe him. But then what do you do when you take that person, give them unlimited funds and unlimited power to spend those funds? What do you get? There are going to be books written about this entire endeavor, if there haven't already been, once it finally spirals down into nothingness. It's going to be really interesting. It's really interesting. And the Howard Hughes comparison, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. I hadn't really considered it in that way, but given Zuckerberg's control over everything and the amount of money he's dealing with, is his metaverse the spruce goose? All right, is it effectively the spruce goose? Yeah, might be. Let's see. Twisted Skipster. For everyone who donated to my GoFundMe to rebuild my porch and add a wheelchair ramp, it should be finished within the next month or so. I will post pics on Twitter. Thank you all. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Skipster, and everybody who did donate to that fundraiser. Thank you so much for that. That one got funded real quick, and I'm very proud of you guys and everybody who helped out. So thank you again, and congratulations to Skipster, and I'm looking forward to seeing your ramp, seeing the fruits of the labor, as it were. But let's move on to article number 3. Let's see here. I got a technical stuff here. Let's see. We did that one. Oh, yeah. So I saw a lot of articles referring to the hospitality industry and the metaverse. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the TEDx's I did on the metaverse referred to the hospitality industry and hotels and things. But I'm still, and even then and now, I'm still a little fuzzy on of what purpose would there be to a metaverse for hospitality? Because the idea of the metaverse is I'm in my home and I'm going to virtual worlds that I don't have to get in my car to go to. How could the hospitality industry benefit from a metaverse? That's the question. And I don't know. So let's find out. And again, this is just one of several different things related to hospitality that I saw in Metaverse. So this may or may not be the best one, but it's from hospitality.net. So, it's or hospitalitynet.org. Okay. Unleashing entrepreneurial opportunities in the metaverse, a guide for hospitality industry. Shouldn't it be a guide for the hospitality industry? Okay. And this is by Roberto Garavaglia. Garavaglia? Maybe that's the disconnect. The Metaverse, a shared virtual reality powered by advancements in virtual and augmented reality. Okay, you used virtual and reality twice in the same sentence to describe itself. Okay. Blockchain and Web3 technology, which are all going great, by the way, is rapidly gaining popularity. Is it? And offering new business opportunities across various sectors, including hospitality. This article, aims to guide entrepreneurs in the hospitality industry through the process of navigating and leveraging the opportunities offered by the metaverse. Oh boy, I can't wait. Initial steps for exploring the metaverse in hospitality. There is not a metaverse. Just every time I say the metaverse, there's not one unified metaverse. Okay, there are separate companies making separate systems that you can navigate. Some are more complex than others. All of them look like technology from about 2003 or earlier. But okay, to successfully enter the metaverse, yes, hospitality entrepreneurs must first identify the opportunities and needs within the metaverse and wait. Let me try that again. To successfully enter the metaverse, hospitality entrepreneurs must first identify the opportunities and needs within the metaverse that their businesses can address. Okay, this may include creating virtual hotels. A virtual hotel. I guess it may include that. Okay. Entertainment offerings and dining services. What, like dining services in the metaverse? Okay. Next, it is crucial to explore various metaverse platforms such as Decentraland. Really? Have you got, okay. Again, most of my sort of MMO / metaverse / crypto / NFT stuff, I learned through, various routes, but at least as one commentator, primarily Kira TV. So if you have any curiosity about Decentraland, look up Kira TV. I didn't mean for this to be a promotional vehicle for Kira, but honestly, he does great stuff, and it's really fun watching his videos. He also does really good documentaries, true crime stuff and otherwise. So anyway, Decentraland, The Sandbox, and Somnium Space, just to mention some platform based on blockchain. Okay, to understand their features and limitations and determine which of them best suits your hospitality business. All you're going to be able to do is put up a billboard. I mean, it might be an interactive billboard, maybe, but a virtual hotel? I mean, I suppose in the sense that, hey, client X, you can take a virtual tour of the hotel and our rooms before you decide to book. Okay, I guess I could see that if I wanted to go to the trouble of having my goggles on and not just go to a website and look up a floor plan, but dining services? Okay. Essential information to know. For success in the metaverse, hospitality entrepreneurs must familiarize at least with the following aspects. Okay. Digital property. Acquire virtual land and build structures such as hotels, restaurants, and entertainment venues. Oh God, is this Earth 2? Is this an Earth 2? Why didn't you mention Earth 2? Virtual land. Tokens and cryptocurrencies. Understand the digital currencies and how they are used for transactions in the metaverse. Very few people understand cryptocurrencies and tokens at this point. It is so complex, so layered, and so rife with fraud. Smart contracts. Learn to create and use smart contracts for managing reservations, payments, and other transactions in the virtual hotel quotation marks reality. I mean, it's easier said than done. Just learn about cryptocurrencies. Just master that. Digital property, JPEGs on a server somewhere from Google Maps, and build your virtual hotel on it with your virtual dining services. Smart contracts. Sure. Okay. Required team members. To launch a hospitality business in the metaverse, hospitality entrepreneurs will need a team of experts with diverse skills, including, number one, virtual/augmented reality developers for creating and optimizing virtual experiences for guests. Blockchain developers to handle program and security for blockchain-based transactions. 3D designers and artists for creating visual elements such as structures, interiors, and avatars. And digital marketing experts to promote virtual hotels in the metaverse and engage customers. Okay, before I continue, just like with so many TEDx's before it, my first and most necessary question for our author here is, tell me of a success story. Tell me of a hotel chain, corporation, whatever else, that has already dipped its toes into this process, and whether they've experienced any success or not, they've at least gone through the steps you are recommending. Okay. Because otherwise, all of this sounds very, very, very surface level and, selling a bill of goods. All right. Collaboration with meta agencies. Meta agencies? Am I reading like a sci-fi novel or something? Meta agencies are specialized agencies that provide services for businesses in the metaverse. Oh, a meta agency provides an agency that in the meta. Okay. Collaborating with a meta agency can simplify the startup process, granting access to specialized knowledge and skills that may not be present within your internal team. Meta agencies can offer strategic advice, design, and development services and help promote the virtual hotel in the metaverse. Such as, can you name one? What is a meta agency that's going to help me? This article is frustrating. Accessibility and inclusion. Inclusion! I love inclusion. To make virtual hotels accessible to a wider audience, it is essential to consider accessibility and inclusion in the design and development process. If I've got a pair of goggles on and I'm sitting in my room by myself and I'm entering a virtual space, what kind of accessibility are you talking about? This can include, for instance, compatibility with low-cost devices. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. By ensuring that virtual hotels are accessible to those using less expensive virtual augmented reality devices. Ease of use by creating an intuitive user interface that can be easily used by people with varying technical skills. Furthermore, it is crucial to comply with privacy and security regulations to protect users' personal information and ensure a safe and transparent environment in the virtual hotels. What virtual hotel? Who has done this? Who is spearheading this effort? Where can I go right now to see someone's metaverse hotel? How does a metaverse hotel function? How does the food services function in the metaverse? Conclusion. Really? Already? The metaverse offers a unique opportunity for hospitality entrepreneurs to tap into new technological frontiers and create innovative experiences for guests. To succeed, it is vital to understand the workings of this ecosystem, learn essential information, recruit a team of experts, and collaborate with meta agencies to tackle the challenges and opportunities of the metaverse. Additionally, focusing on accessibility and inclusion will ensure that your virtual hotel is welcoming and available to a broad range of guests. Guests in a virtual hotel. I might have to do another stream at some point on looking up what do they mean by virtual hotels. And how do I know that this thing wasn't written by ChatGPT? It is so cursory and says nothing and gives no examples. Innovative Payments and Blockchain Strategic Advisor. Okay. This is part of the problem now with AI and everything else. Is that an actual picture of a person? Is this an actual article written by a human being? Do I know? Can I know? Oh. Okay. Well, we have the Dog Cat Fox Metaverse, which has no details or any examples of success. We have the Meta Metaverse, which has a functioning kind of thing that is falling down into nothingness after $24 billion spent. Here's the thing. If you spend $24 billion on something just as a proof of concept, and you have limitless resources and access to the greatest minds of Silicon Valley, and you can't make it work, and you can't even make it work to the point of making a reasonable argument for its existence, I don't think a hotel chain is going to find a good excuse to invest money into a virtual hotel. Meta and Zuckerberg's experiment, at least for the foreseeable future, might be the death knell of the entire concept of a metaverse. Because if $24 billion can't buy you a functioning product, I'm not sure anybody else could, but you never know. I guess it's not impossible. All right, well, now I'm really wondering, what were the other articles regarding the metaverse and hospitality saying? I guess I'll find out later if I decide to move on. All right, let's go on to the last article, which probably is more poignant, all things considered, to everybody's concerns, because the metaverse just ends up being one more opportunity for you to dump your personal information into an open sea and a wild, wild west. But before I get into that, what else are people saying in here? TC, I'm virtually sold. I know, me too, virtually. It's just, I just need to cross that extra millimeter or three that are basically impossible. Yeah. Advocatus Diabli, will I have to eat virtual bugs in this virtual hotel to prevent virtual climate change in the virtual world? Yes. The answer is yes. Dining services. I'm dying to know, what are the metaverse virtual dining services? That's amazing to me. Or an amazing concept, I guess I should say. Mike Savage, when I hear smart, I know it's to make the human less smart. Yeah, smart contracts. Yeah, smart to the people that created them, not necessarily the people using them. I don't know. And Johnny Blaze. So basically transactions to go to places except you don't leave your house. I guess I can visit a virtual hotel. You know, I could visit virtual hotels and things back when I was playing Doom. Like, I bought Doom 2. Doom 2 was the first Doom game I ever owned. And at the same time, I also bought a CD. And I don't know if they do these anymore, but it was a CD of Doom levels. It was just a CD-ROM filled with WAD files, just packed to the gills with WAD files. This is before really the internet. And so I had this endless supply of just random levels built by people in the Doom engine. And there were things like, you know, Hotel from Hell, and there were like virtual cities, and there were people that like recreated the Louvre and things on these WADs. And so I could go to virtual spaces I'd never been before. You know, that was about as exciting as it looks right now. It's a novelty, lasts for about 10 seconds, and then I want to go do something else. But I think I might have that disc around here somewhere. Just a CD-ROM full of rinky-dink WAD. Some of them were terrible. Like they were, I mean, there was no quality control here. Some of them were like amazing, like whole extra games worth of content. Some of them were like terrible, and some of them had like porn in them and stuff. And that was exciting for a kid. But anyway, let's find out about Siemens Metaverse. Siemens has a metaverse, exposes sensitive corporate data. Oh, okay. This is starting to sound very Shadowrun. Starting to sound very Neuromancer all of a sudden, doesn't it? Let's see. Siemens Metaverse, a virtual space built to mirror real machines, factories, and other highly complex systems, has exposed sensitive data, including the company's office plans and Internet of Things devices. Uh-oh. While Metaverse is no longer a buzzword amid the sudden popularity of ChatGPT and similar AI tools, those virtual worlds are still here, presenting exciting opportunities for companies, users, and, unfortunately, threat actors. Threat actors. Is that what we call thieves now? Threat actors? Okay. Siemens, a German multinational with over $71 trillion in revenue. 71 trillion? Trillion? Really? Holy cats. Trillion in revenue. That's not a typo, right? Okay. And 300,000 employees worldwide has also jumped on the Metaverse bandwagon. Oh, well. Get ready to write off that expenditure. In 2022, it partnered with NVIDIA, which is just a really popular company right now, an American multinational technology company, to build the industrial metaverse. Oh boy. Well, if only NVIDIA could build a affordable graphics card that people would want to buy, but we'll leave the 4070 and so on aside for the time being. Recently, the Cyber News research team has discovered that Siemens Metaverse, a platform that aims to create digital twins of its factories and offices, was leaking sensitive information. If attackers got to the exposed data, it could have devastating consequences for the company and other big corporations using its services, including ransomware attacks. Oh, good. Siemens, on the other hand, said it considered the issue to be non-critical and added that it had been mitigated. Mitigated? Okay. Metaverse Leak, what we discovered. On March 1st, the Cyber News research team discovered an environment file hosted on a metaverse.siemens.com domain. It contained Comfy app credentials and endpoints. It also discovered Siemens leaking 4 sets of WordPress users and 3 sets of backend and authentication endpoint URLs on different endpoints of the affected systems. The WordPress sets only exposed usernames and avatar pictures, but all 4 Siemens WordPress-based subdomains were vulnerable to a flaw that WordPress itself fixed in 2017, leaving researchers wondering whether there are more severe vulnerabilities on these sites. Backend and authentication endpoint URLs used to verify users before giving them access could lead to attackers testing them for vulnerabilities and exploiting them. The most worrying discovery was that of exposed office management platform Comfy app user credentials. The Siemens-owned app helps with workspace management, meaning it's hungry for sensitive data, including floor plans, information about Internet of Things devices, employee calendars, and interior pictures. We can't say for sure how much of the aforementioned data could be accessed using Comfy app credentials alone. And then there's a screenshot of, I guess, techno stuff that I don't understand. We sincerely hope that threat actors didn't discover the leak before Siemens managed to fix it, said Cyber News researchers. Quote, having access, they could exfiltrate a treasure trove of sensitive data, given that Siemens manufactures and maintains a lot of technologies and machines used by critical infrastructure, unquote. The Cyber News team added, quote, Siemens customers include multi-billion-dollar companies handling extremely sensitive data, and attackers would definitely find it very valuable, unquote. A highly attractive target. So what if someone logs in and takes a peek at your office plans and pictures, even your calendar? Employees are well aware they shouldn't let a stranger into their office, so why would the rules be any different when it comes to the digital workplace? Quote, after snooping around the digital office, attackers could simply show up at the physical office as if they worked there for years, knowing all the spaces and being familiar with office devices, such as smart air conditioners. That just makes it easier for attackers to break in, unquote, Cyber News researchers said. And they won't break in just to steal a pen. More likely, they'll plug in an infected USB drive that could eventually even lead to ransomware. Since the metaverse is built in such a way that it should have up-to-date factory data, Attackers could even extract some trade secrets like manufacturing techniques. Quote, there are a lot of opportunities for threat actors here, but since it's one of the first cases where the metaverse technologies are used in cases where they can leak sensitive real-world data, it's not very clear what methodologies would be adopted by threat actors to gain the most out of exploiting such issues, the research team said. Hey, I got an idea for you guys, and I know. Read Neuromancer, read Burning Chrome, read Johnny Mnemonic, read any of the sci-fi, cyberpunk fiction and more that's come out in the last, 3 or 4 decades. If you want to have some brainstorming on what they could possibly do and just kind of translate those actions into the real world with real technology, there you go. In fact, there's probably about, a couple thousand Shadowrun campaign modules you could read. That would give you some idea of what someone could do if they already hacked into and knew the floor plan of a place. Or hell, watch a Mission Impossible movie. It's not clear what methodologies would be adapted. Use your imagination, or take advantage of other people who have already done the imagining for you. Right? It's sort of like Condoleezza Rice saying, no one could have imagined using planes as weapons against buildings, except for the Lone Gunman TV series that showed that very thing happening, except for the Tom Clancy book, Dead of Honor, that showed that very thing happening years before it occurred. Trust me, these things have been imagined by people already. You don't have to go that far to find it. It's like Kathleen Kennedy saying that Star Wars had no books to build any stories off of. Sorry for my rant there, but when people say they don't know what could possibly be done with, it's been thought of. Trust me. Read a book. Read a book. All right. Metaverse problems. At the peak of the metaverse hype, Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook even rebranded to Meta to be a metaverse first, not Facebook first company. But without a doubt, the most widely marketed metaverse project of them all keeps losing money, and the hype around the concept seems to be over. Therefore, those doomsday scenarios elaborating on how crooks could abuse the metaverse remain theoretical rather than real-life threats. Yeah, they are theoretical, except that you guys found ways for it to be exploited already. I don't know what to tell you. If Siemens decides to maintain its own virtual set of factories so that people can work or analyze or try to streamline things from at distance or whatever, and it's still available, and it's still a threat to other customers or other infrastructures, yeah, just because Zuckerberg's failing doesn't mean Siemens doesn't become less of a threat or something. What? Okay. Anyway, so what were the experts so worried about? Give it some time, dude. Seriously. Well, first of all, it's a new Wild West of privacy issues and criminal concerns, since it represents an unprecedented digital and physical attack surface. Metaverse's early adopters have already reported harassment, bullying, hate speech, and, well, even rape? What? Okay, hold on, there's a hyperlink here. Let me just... Taking nightmares online to understand Metaverse, a regulatory disaster. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, within 60 seconds, I'm reading from another article, guys, sorry. Within 60 seconds of joining, I was verbally and sexually harassed. 3 to 4 male avatars with male voices virtually gang the avatar. Virtually gang raped the avatar. Okay, okay. And if a user is robbed, bullied, or God forbid, where does one take their complaints? I don't know what to tell you. Okay. The metaverse topic might be overshadowed by ChatGPT and its rivals, but the concept is not dead. You don't say. Seoul, the South Korean capital, recently became the world's first major city to launch a metaverse platform for official business and entertainment. I'm sure nothing can possibly go wrong with that. Last year, Dubai launched an ambitious metaverse strategy aiming to create over 40,000 virtual jobs by 2030. I'm sure it'll go like gangbusters. The European Union created its own youth-oriented metaverse. Oh boy, youth-oriented metaverse-like digital venue for $400,000 to make youth more aware of what the EU does on the world stage. So, a propagandaverse. Oh boy, these are just a couple of recent examples of the Metaverse Expansion. It's not a oh my God, the Metaverse. It's not. They're giant MMOs. Giant virtual reality MMOs. That's all it is. Maybe slower than some have anticipated, but definitely a significant one for the companies to start taking metaverse-focused cybersecurity seriously. Well, you would hope they would have done that at the beginning, but of course, we leap before we look these days. The Metaverse market is expected to grow into a $760 billion one by 2026. Really? How? Why? Meta just burned $24 billion in 2 years and got nothing for it. Okay. Where am I at on time right now? About an hour? Okay. Tell you what, I'm gonna look into their article on this proposed $760 billion business in 2026. I want to know how they estimate that. I'm really curious. But before I get there, Advocast Diabli, I was hoping this was some Strange Days shit where there was like downloads of a criminal brain or something. Damn. Yeah, I just watched that movie the other day. That's one of my favorite movies out of the 90s. I love that movie. It's got so much going on in it. It's got so many layers to it. They should have set it further into the future, but they really, really wanted to make that year 2000 New Year's Eve party the centerpiece of the whole deal. So they kind of, I mean, the movie came out like what, 96, 97, and was projecting into 1999 to 2000, obviously. Like, I should have jumped a bit further ahead. But I really like Strange Days. It's one of my favorite sort of cyberpunk movies. Let's see. What else? Who else is up here? Okay. Yeah, Johnny Blaze, press X to doubt. I mean, I don't even know. I'm assuming about the story on the other thing. Yeah. Anal Lynn, does anyone use the Metaverse? The Metsverse? Yeah. The Mets. People do. But of course, there's been a Metaverse, effectively what they've been talking about and what Facebook has been trying to construct for years now. It's called VR chat. I mean, that is probably more of a metaverse functionally than anything Facebook has built. And I'm going to keep calling it Facebook because Meta is so pompous. Or, Second Life. I think, isn't Second Life still running? Isn't Second Life still running on some like Apple IIe or something somewhere right now still? Anyway, okay. And we'll close out today's show by finding out, at least according to Cyber News, how the Metaverse is going to be a $760 billion business within 3 years from now. And this is an article from February of last year. Okay. And so remember, this article was written before the current downfall of the Metaverse as created by Zuckerberg. Okay, so this was looking at the future based on the assumptions of success that we're now seeing diminish. Just as a point of reference, the global metaverse market, estimated at $110 billion, $24 billion of which has now been burned to nothing, is projected to reach approximately $760 billion by 2026. The transition to the metaverse is imminent. The market research company Global Industry Analysts claimed in its recently released report, quote, the conversation around metaverse has reemerged, and with the likes of Meta, Google, and Microsoft joining the bandwagon, the dialogue got stronger and is headed towards actualization in terms of rising interest in funding projects, expanding outreach of technological collaborations, changing paradigms in the marketplace, and an overwhelming response from users, it said. Oh, and this is just a year ago. This is funny. In 2020, the global metaverse market was estimated at $107 billion. Estimated at, what was it actually? Okay, it is projected to reach $758 billion by 2026. The U.S. is currently in the lead. The country accounts for 41.2% of the global market, or $58 billion. Okay, China, the world's second largest economy, is forecasted to reach a $103 billion metaverse market. Globally, Japan and Canada will also grow their metaverse landscape significantly. Within Europe, Germany is set out to be the most significant player and reach $59 billion by 2026. Based on what? Based on what? I mean, somebody has to be there to buy this stuff, right? So you're probably not talking average consumers, are you? Are you talking about like governments? What? Meta, Microsoft, Google, Roblox, NVIDIA, Unity Software, and Fastly are named in the report as companies leading the innovation, technological collaboration, and market expansion to race ahead in building the metaverse. For example, Meta acquired VR headset maker Oculus and created Horizon Workrooms. How's that going, by the way? How much did Meta pay for Oculus? Have they made a profit off of that yet? Are people just running out in droves to buy Oculuses left, right, and center? Okay. Microsoft is developing mixed reality glasses dubbed HoloLens. Yeah, boy, I can't, I can't walk down the street without seeing 17 people wearing HoloLens. And Alphabet, Google's holding company, is developing augmented reality enabled video conferencing using smart glasses. Didn't smart glasses come out about 10 years ago and nobody uses them? The report features 42 competitors that are taking steps towards creating the metaverse. That's the article? Wait. So estimated on what basis? So you based your entire article off of the report of one research company, and this research company's report, what? Sorry, I went to their hyperlink, and it's nothing. It doesn't show anything. Okay, maybe it changed. I don't know. So just on the basis of one company's analysis, their guess, a year ago, it's going to be a $760 billion industry. All right. I wonder where HoloLens is now. Where's HoloLens? Here. Sorry, I'm the most professional Sunday morning show host. Mixed reality technology. And the list price of $3,000. Oh yeah, you're going to see HoloLens all over the place, man. All over the place. Yeah, people, $3,000 a unit. Oh man, yeah, they're going to be going like hotcakes. I tell you what. Oh boy. When would you pay $3,000 for a pair of glasses, HoloLenses? You better hope you don't drop those, or accidentally step on them or have them get knocked off your face or something. That's $3,000 down the tubes. Holy cow. Seriously, $3,000. Let's see. Super Cooper TV. How old is this article? This article is from 2022, February of 2022. So they were making estimates based on the hype probably at its peak last year, into 2021, into 2022. And it's funny to read that now after just reading an article talking about the quiet death that Zuckerbergs Metaverse is going through after $24 billion of investment down the tubes. Let's see. Annalyn, the Oculus is selling well. Okay. Is it selling $760 billion well? Because that's apparently what it's going to have to take, at least in part, for this to come true. But more importantly, I guess, is how much did Zuckerberg pay for Oculus, and how much has that investment paid off so far? All right. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be profitable right away, but is it on track at least? I don't know. Might be something to look at later. I'll give a couple minutes here for you guys, and then I'll wrap up. Yeah, that's my update into the metaverse. I was curious as to where things were at, and so now I know that there's a Shiba Inu metaverse. There's a dying Zuckerberg metaverse, and apparently in 3 years, metaverse is going to be a $760 billion business for somebody. TC, there is no case for buying those glasses unless you wanted to make tremendous spectacle of your... Thank you, TC. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Let's see. Annalyn, no, but out of all the VR goggles, the Oculus is the cheapest. Okay, well, that doesn't necessarily... I mean, are they selling them at a loss in order to, saturate the market? Because I kind of look at the Oculus, for Zuckerberg's situation, I kind of look at the Oculus like Amazon Fire. Those Amazon Fire tablets, they're relatively cheap for a tablet. But that's because they want to keep it cheap because the real value comes from your instantaneous access to ordering on Amazon through an Amazon Fire. It increases the avenues for Amazon to make profit. So they can sell those things effectively at a loss or without any kind of profit motive for the sake of them, because they are just avenues for further revenue from Amazon ordering. So if the Oculus are being sold at a relatively cheap price, I could see that. But the question is then, is that investment, is that saturation of the market with cheap Oculuses actually leading to an upward trend of profits for Zuckerberg and Meta? And this is me just asking, not as any kind of business expert. I have no MBA. I don't know, but I've learned a few things over the years. Let's see. Renovatio. Apple are making their own metaverse device. It's just going to be filled with DEI progressives virtually outwoking each other. Nobody wants it. Yeah. Oh, man. I could see it. But with that, everybody, I think I'm going to call it here. I was just curious for myself and possibly for you as to whether or not the metaverse had any chance of doing anything at any time, anywhere. The applications for it, as far as factories and infrastructure and things like that, I could see a use for that, right? If you need to inspect how a machine works or how a factory is laid out virtually in some way, shape, or form, and not have to go to a location in order to inspect it or to analyze how things are put together. I could see a use for that. I really could. But as the article showed, as soon as you put stuff online, it is immediately less safe than if you didn't. And so if you put up the detail inch by inch virtual plans for machinery that could be used in sensitive sites or locations that could be, containing sensitive items or just people in general, and somebody with a bad intent gets a hold of it somehow, yeah, of course, that threat always exists. That threat has existed forever. So I guess only the future will tell. But really, if you need to think about or you're not quite sure how these technologies could possibly be abused, I direct you to the science fiction section at your local library or bookstore and just look it up. I suggest you look up things like Shadowrun or Cyberpunk 2077, either the video game or Cyberpunk Red or whatever, for some ideas as to how knowledge of physical spaces could possibly be abused by someone with bad intentions, if that's what the Siemens article was meant to tell us. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining me for the Sunday stream. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, let me know with a like. If you didn't enjoy it, let me know with a dislike. Either way, it's engagement, and I appreciate your opinion. If you have anything to say on this, please leave a comment. What else can I think of that needs to be said? Oh, yeah, I have a metaverse. Did I mention I have a metaverse? It's called my Discord server. I mean, it's functionally the same thing as a metaverse. You just don't get to, put a pair of goggles on if you don't want to, I guess. But if you'd like to join in my not metaverse, I'm going to put a link in the chat right now. And if you go to that link, you'll end up at the landing channel called Say Hello. And all you have to do there is just say hello and mention the secret word. Because the secret word is what gets you into the rest of the metaverse. And that secret word today is trillion, because Siemens makes $71 trillion annually or something. Oh, Miranda Stone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generosity and always for your assistance. Everybody, when you have an opportunity, say thanks to Miranda, both for being a moderator on the show, a moderator on the Discord server, and for helping me in the initial stages of setting up the Discord server, because I didn't know what I was doing, but she knew more than I did, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your generosity and help, Miranda. Thank you so much. But with that, everybody, thank you for joining me. Moderators, as mentioned, thank you so much for your help. Even though everybody here is so well behaved, you have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated either to myself or, and I forgot to mention it, didn't I? Dang it. The fundraisers at the top of the chat box to our friends Moonshock and Angry Illinoisian. I got so caught up in getting into the metaverse that I forgot about people in the real verse. That's my bad. Please take a look at those fundraisers if you have the opportunity. If you can donate, excellent, thank you. If you can't, if you could at least share those out on social media, that would be appreciated. But with that, everybody, I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday, rest of your weekend. I hope you all have a good week ahead of you. I hope you're all safe and well. If you are not well, please get well soon, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.